We are real up close and personal today, okay? Hi, everyone. My name is Michaela. I'm the host of Cozy and Thriving, the podcast. This podcast is just where we learn to build a life that we actually want to be present for. And I'm so excited because today we are going through my new Future You project notebook template that I have available for you down below. I'm so excited about it. I made this template after I made the notebook. You guys, if you're watching, you can see the notebook. I have this on TikTok and everything. So if you want to see like more about this, past episodes, TikTok, Instagram, all the things, like it's up there. However, that notebook is like a mess. It's just like a scribbling zone for me, which is fine. It's a great place to brain dump. It's a great place to like sort out my thoughts and journal about certain things, like having the journal prompts and everything. But sometimes I just need a little bit more structure to go back and actually look at it. So I made a Notion template and I wanted to be able to have this wherever I went. I didn't want to just have to have it on my laptop. I can see it on my iPad. I can see it on my phone. I can carry my Future You project around with me literally everywhere I go. And so today we're actually going to be filling it out together. I'm going to be going through the template with you and just, you can pull out your phone, your laptop, whatever, and do this with me. I am so very excited so that's why I'm so close today, because we're filling this out and you're going to be seeing my screen more than you are going to be seeing my face. So if you're listening this week and you also have the Future You project like notebook template for Notion, this is a really good episode to like bookmark and go back and watch. I do have this actually, well, at the time of recording this, it's not linked. It will be linked when you purchase, so you can always come back and watch this video to go through it, get some more instructions and everything. So let's just get into it. I'm so excited. If this is your first time, this is honestly an amazing episode to be a part of, because you're seeing everything that we've talked about for the last couple of weeks all put down into one template and one platform. So I'm so excited. So let's just get into it. Let's just dive in and let's talk about it. So when you get your Future You project notebook, this is what it's going to look like. It has a welcome letter from me. Everywhere that you see a gray box with a little pencil, that is going to be some instructions. You can always delete these instructions. Anytime that I buy a Notion template from somebody and they have the instructions, I do delete the instructions. I feel like I said instructions so many times just because it's a lot. I feel like it just makes it look more cluttered, and once I like know how to use it, I don't need to continue to look at that. So there are things that you can delete, and then this one in the anti-burnout blueprint has like the little fairy, so you can delete all of them, and I say that in the welcome letter. But I do want to warn you that once you delete it, it is gone. So if you're like a person that you think you'll forget how to use a certain section, then I would not suggest deleting everything, but you know, do what you will. So when you get yours, there will be this welcome letter here. I am going to go to mine so that way you can see, like, after deleting the instructions and everything, what it will look like. I just took the welcome letter off of this, but the instructions are still in here. So when you come to your Future You project notebook, I try to make it look like a notebook with a little paper clip and the lined paper and everything. This is your homepage. So you have under this little Future You project little graphic, I guess, you'll have your cozy action planner and an anti-burnout blueprint. So with this cozy action planner, you are literally putting actions to your plans. So the beginning of this series, my big thing that I was trying to get to was to be a full-time content creator by the end of 2025. So I put in here, grow to 100 more followers. Now, when you click on these goals and things, there's actually more prompts in here to like answer. So I have a question that says why this matters to me, 3 steps I can take this week, and how I'll reward myself when I get it. So for my grow 100 more followers, I put why this matters to me, and growing the 100 followers would help me grow my community and get me closer to becoming a full-time content creator. The 3 steps that I can take is to post daily, engage with my comments and my followers and research more about the platforms that I'm using. And then how I reward myself is to buy me a coffee. And you guys, I bought myself a coffee. It's from Dunkin'. It's the same one from last week if you watched last week's episode, because it's the same day. So that's how you'll use this. You can keep them there. These little like paper things at the side, you can put emojis and stuff. So once you do that, personally for me, I would just delete the action. The thing that I wanted to do, the goal of that week or whatever it was, I would personally just delete it. But if you wanted to, you could put like a check mark and you would see like I did all of these. So that would be a cool way to kind of just like track. And there are a lot of settings that you can do with Notion. I'm not the best teacher of Notion. I know how to use it, but there is a place where if you wanted to add like another property that said like completed or whatever, and then if you went into the settings somewhere, you could make it to where it like goes away once you complete it. But I would just look up like a Notion guru because I'm not the best teacher of that. Under that, we have the anti-burnout blueprint, and your template will have like what each one of these will be, but mine doesn't because I deleted all of them. But the assigned days basically is assigning tasks to certain days. So on Sundays, that's my cozy reset day. And I also want it to be my no social media day. So that's what I would put like in Sunday. So let me do that. I'll say cozy reset day and no social media. So that means no posting, no getting on it, no anything. The podcast will still be on Sundays just because I pre-record those and I upload them before Sunday. It's not like I'm doing that on Sunday. So that will be that. And then so Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday you'll do things like that. So Monday will be like my admin day. I'll put that in. Tuesday will be, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday will be the same. And Saturday, I would say, is my free day where I get to do whatever I want. Like I can binge watch TV all day. I can scroll on TikTok all day. I can do whatever I want on Saturday. That is a free day. Then you'll have your intentional entertaining breaks list. You can add and take away anything that you want, but these intentional entertaining breaks are things that you actually enjoy doing that brings you fulfillment. If you play The Sims, there's like these little bars that each one has that says like they're hungry or they need to use the bathroom or whatever, and one of them is their fun levels. And sometimes if they're just like working, going to sleep, their fun levels will go down. But when they watch TV or when they play a video game or when they read a book or whatever, like makes your sim happy, it will go up. And so if you think about your life as a sim, you want to have those like fun things. So I just put like little things here, like watching a show, scrolling on social media, watching a comedy podcast, reading a book, if going to a coffee shop or like going out to lunch on your break, whatever makes you happy and is going to entertain you, that's what you're going to put here. And then the last thing is, what are you looking forward to? I like to ask that question because sometimes when you think about, this is where I'm going, this is what I want to be doing, or like something I'm excited for. One of the things that I wrote down on something, obviously not here, but one of the things that I wrote down was I was looking forward to fall. I was looking forward to the burr months. And so I needed to finish out August with a bang in my work, in my content, in my personal life. Everything in August just needed to go out with a bang. That was helping me stay motivated and not burning out. So now we're going to the next column. If you're looking at this on your phone, this is all just going to be like one long scrolling list, but it is helpful. So I would say that if you're not like a huge scroller and you want something to be shown all the way out like this, I would definitely use this on your iPad or a laptop, but having it on the phone is good too because you can like quickly add things whenever it comes to mind. I have a life planner here. I know a lot of us use Apple Calendar or Google Calendar, but having the life planner here also shows kind of like the big moments in life, and you can always go back and look at the things that you did. So I put in here like the Future You Planner launch. So that was like something that's really awesome to me, and I'm super excited about that. But I could also put like I'll be out of town the 8th through the 11th because I'm going to my mom's 50th birthday party, and just like it's almost like documenting your life, like when you did things, instead of it just being like, let me check my calendar to see if I'm free or not. I think it's just a better way to look at your life and journal it and remember things. The cool thing about Notion is that you can actually upload pictures and things too. So if I were to say like I'll say going to Baltimore and it's mommy's birthday, I could then, like, when I'm like taking pictures and everything, go back and like put the pictures of the day here. I do think that on the free version, it runs out. That's why I don't have a lot of photos on my Notion, just because I am using the free version of it. But I think that if I were to pay for it, you would have a lot more space and a lot more room to add things like that. So that's the only thing there in the middle section. And then if you go on to the third one, I did put like a little time widget here. You can look up different widgets if you'd like to add here. You could add like a quote, an affirmation, something that's like inspiring to you, whatever. I just, put the time there because people like to know the time, I guess. Okay, so after the widget, we have the Future You project. And this is what we have been like talking about on the podcast episodes, on TikTok, everything. Like this is where the project came to life. Okay. This is where we're writing down everything regarding our future. Okay. So starting with the vision, again, we have some notes, and then I do have my podcast episode linked where we went through the vision and kind of talked about this. So that way, if you didn't see this and you want like a little bit more guidance to this, you can watch that. So scrolling down a little bit more, we have our journal prompts. And when you click on the arrow on the side of the journal prompt, so this one says, what does your dream life actually look like? And you click it, you'll have space to write that down. These are really good to have written down in the actual planner, but it's also good to write it down on paper as well, because sometimes these things change. And so if you are just like coming back and you're like, okay, I want to look at what my dream life looks like what am I going towards or whatever, I can come into all of these questions and see, okay, what am I willing to do to get there? Am I doing that? And what am I not willing to do to get there? Am I doing those things? It's a good reminder. But also, if it does change, you can also write it down in your notebook and like just kind of have that as like a weekly reminder. Like your physical notebook, write it down as like a weekly reminder. So when you come back here, you're like, oh, I'm seeing like my future life is changing a little bit. And there's things that like I thought I was willing to do that I'm actually not willing to do. And there's things that I was willing to do that I'm not actually willing to do. So weekly in this book, but like monthly, yearly, this could be weekly in here too. You could literally like let's see, if I were to write down something like I am like, I'll say working out every day, but I like date this as August 6th, I think is what today is. Then, we can do it that way. And then like I come back and it's like September 6th and I'm like, I am, working out 3 times a day. Oh, I said not 3 times a day, 3 times a week. Golly. And let's say that's September 6th. So you can do it like that as well. And just like you're like, oh, I'm seeing how my dream life is changing just a little bit. And that's okay. Your life is going to change. Sometimes the things that you want right now in life aren't the things that you are always going to want. So next is the vision statement. The vision statement is just something that's like easy to grab. I think it's really cool to also kind of screenshot this and like remind yourself of it every once in a while. You can put it in like a phone widget or whatever, or like a widget on your screen so you can like see it on your phone or whatever. But I'm gonna read the statement and then I will like read my statement because I do actually have my statement written out in here for you. So I imagine a life where I am living as a blank. My days look like a blank and I feel like a blank. To create this life, I'm willing to blank, blank, and blank, even when it's uncomfortable or slow. But I know I'm not willing to blank, blank, or blank because I believe I can build this life without losing myself. This dream matters to me because blank, it represents more than just personal success. It's about blank, blank, and blank. It's so funny reading it with blanks. I know this won't happen overnight, but I'm choosing to build it in one intentional and cozy. Oh my gosh, I'm choosing to build it one intentional and cozy step at a time. So the example that I put here, which is actually just my statement in general, is I imagine a life where I'm living as a cozy business owner. My days look like slow mornings to spend time with Jesus, playing with my future children, and fun activities with my family. And I feel at peace even in the imperfections of my life, in my body, mind, and spirit. To create this life, I'm willing to work hard now, sacrifice time and money, and start acting like a CEO and not just an employee, even when it's uncomfortable or slow. But I know I am not willing to burn myself out, overwork myself just to get ahead, or allow people to walk all over me because I believe I can build this life without losing myself. This dream matters to me because I believe that God has called me to help women live a beautiful life that God has called them to. It represents more than just personal success. It's about spreading joy, helping other women, and honoring the version of me that God is calling forward. I know this won't happen overnight, but I'm choosing to build it one intentional, cozy step at a time. So that is my statement. That is why I do what I do. I have dug deep and hard into this, and I think that it's just really good to like look at it and be like, okay, cool. This is where I'm going. This is where I'm heading, and I feel like I am walking this version of myself out right now, and I'm seeing change like happening before my eyes, which is like so cool. So after you have the vision, you're going to go back and you're going to go into the blueprint, because this is how we're going to get here. Okay. We talked about this blueprint a couple of episodes ago. And again, I have the episode linked so you can always go back and watch those or listen. So you're basically going to go in and you're going to write down your big goals. So these are your pillar goals. So I have my example here as becoming a full-time content creator. And then I have this little graph here, or this little, table here for you to like write down the goal, your daily habit, and your weekly habit. Again, the example is becoming a full-time content creator. I'm going to research what's working and what's not working. And then I'm going to post 3 to 5 times a week on short form, and I'm going to post 1 time a week on YouTube. And that's how I'm going to grow to this goal that I have. Then I'm going to go down a little bit more, and I'm going to have some mindset shifts. So before, when I was talking about this in the actual notebook, the Future You notebook, like the physical one, I left space to be able to write down more mindset shifts, because sometimes the shift happens when something else happens. Like you'll be like, oh, I need to shift my mindset to that. And that's why I think this is also cool to have digitally, because I'll be able to just write it down into the project notebook right then and there, instead of being like, oh my gosh, okay, let me make sure to remember this, so when I get home I can write it in my notebook or whatever. You can write it down immediately. So there is a lot of space. Obviously with digital you can make more space, so literally you can just like keep going down. You could have 100 mindset shifts down here. So I think that's just really cool too, because it's again all in one spot. With paper and pen, I had to go to the next page. So if I wanted 100 mindset shifts, I would have to like start it again onto another page. So okay, so after your blueprint, we have your dream life goals. And this one is just like you're setting goals by the category. So I put a bunch of life categories up here. You can take away or add categories that you want. So I put faith, health and wellness, relationships, home and environment, career and business, calling, finances, personal growth, creativity, hobbies, all the things. Like I wanted to be able to put a place where I'm just like, this is all the goals that I want for my entire life. That doesn't mean that you're doing them like all write at once. It's just writing them down to see like what you want. So I guess for a home and environment, dream of mine, more than a home right now, because I absolutely am in love with my apartment and I do want to buy a house one day. I just like haven't thought that far, I guess. But I have thought about my car. And so I do want a Ford Bronco. Why I can't spell that. So I can put that in home and environment 'cause that I feel like that's a part of my environment, part of my home, whatever. That is a dream car of mine, but that doesn't mean that I go out today and I go buy it. So you're like, this section is literally, you're just like spitting out, brain dumping everything for each one of these categories. Okay. So then I go down some and we have the goal tracker. So you're going to ask yourself these questions weekly, because I feel like when we can revisit some things on a weekly basis, you're going to have that thing in your mind more and more. So when you are like looking up at your goals, this is probably going to be filled up like a lot. So I would look at the ones that are a little bit more obtainable, or that are like things that you can actually start doing. So like, for example, I can start putting money aside for a Ford Bronco every time I get paid, or like every week or whatever. So there are these weekly check-in prompts. I have all of those here in this little tracker. So if you press new page, it'll say title of your journal prompt. You can open it, change the title, because you see I put in here, this week was I did amazing this week. You can literally change it to whatever. Getting my Ford Bronco goal. You could do it like that. However, and then the questions are already in there, so you can just start typing. You don't have to even like, I mean, you can see it on this side, but you'll have it right there. So if you want to take pen to paper, take pen to paper. But I also suggest logging it this way, because then you can also see, like if I start this today, you can also see, you can go to the date here, or is it this one? Yeah, sort by date, and then you can say like descending. So then you'll see like the most recent one, or you can do ascending, which you can see the like your first entry basically. And you were like, I did amazing this week, or it was or you can just kind of see your progress of getting to your goals in that way. I just think it's a cool way of journaling. Okay, so the next one is the mindset. I feel like this is a big thing that you should have ready to go. So I believe that your mindset is the biggest hindrance to getting to your dream life. I think that it is definitely the place where people will slack off. And so having these like mindset shifts, the truth reminders, everything ready to go like look at is key. So here I have the truth reminders are things that you can like remind yourself when it seems hard or too far away. So I have some like fill in the blank ones here, but obviously have some more bullet points for you to like add your own. I copied this into my personal Notion too early, because I did end up adding a motivation vault. So you basically can put your old mindset and then your motivation. So like when I was telling you that like you could just write down when you needed to make a mindset shift, this actually will tell you like if my mindset was saying I need to hustle to grow a business, my motivation would be I'm a hard worker, but I know when my body and mind need a break. So that would be like the contrasting aspect of changing your mindset. The mindset is so important. I truly, like, if you don't fill out anything else first, I feel like that should be your first thing to fill out. Then the last one is the reflection and reset. This one is definitely one to like remember, and I set it up in a way to where you can actually just go back and like see very easily your prompts and everything. So for September, there's questions underneath: what felt really good this month, what didn't feel aligned, what was one step I took forward to my future vision, what am I proud of myself for, and what's one thing I want to do differently moving forward. So I would actually say, like, if you wanted to do an August one, you could. I put this for September. This you would answer at the end of September. So September 30th, right? Because I think there's 31. Yeah, 30th. September 30th, you go in and you write all of this stuff out, and you do the same for October, November, December, January, and you can keep these going. I did put away down here where you can duplicate. This is also a really good place to see progress and see how you need to reset and everything. I stand by like looking at what worked and what didn't work. And then the last, oh no, I have two more things. So I have this reset day checklist, and I have this up on the front page because I think that it's just a good like glance at, like it's something to glance at. So if you have a reset day, like I said, Sunday was going to be my reset day. I have a life admin reset, an environment reset, and a dream align reset. So I would do this literally every Sunday. I can clear out my inboxes and messages, review my calendar for the week, cancel or reschedule anything that doesn't align, all the things. And you can add, take away from these. You don't have to do exactly what I do, but these are things that I personally would do on my reset day. So there is the life admin, then you have your environment reset. This is like the best way to start your week, in my opinion. And then you have your dream align reset. And the cool thing is that these are drop down. So if that is like a lot to look at at once, you can just say, okay, I'm on my life admin one. Okay, I finished all my life admin. So let me go to my environment reset. You can collapse that, and it makes it a lot easier to look at and it not be like overwhelming. So I wanted to make sure that, you guys had the most structure that you could have with this without having to click into a million different pages and things. So the very last thing, I have the future me letters. I'm a big advocate for journaling, as you can see, and just like kind of thinking through things and building your life. This way, use all of these the way that it's going to work for you. I don't want you to use them based on me, because if journaling everything out like me doesn't work for you, then don't do that. Out of all the journal prompts and everything that's in this template, for you to journal in, the future me letters is the one to use. So this is a place, I'm going to read the instruction to you because I think that it's just a good way of describing what this section is about. So this is a place to write letters to your future you. When you get further into your dream life, you'll be able to come back and read these letters and be proud of how far you came. This is more of like a digital journal for you. You can create separate pages for each journal entry or just type them all out on this page. I most likely will just type them all out. It's just one long note of documentation, and I love that. There are examples of each below, so that way you'll be able to see what I mean. So this is a page. So if you are somebody who's like, absolutely not, I'm not just having one long document, that seems like way too much, then you can go to the page, and when you click on the page, it comes up with your journal entry, and it will just be literally that one journal entry. And I personally think naming like the title of the page, the date, is the best way to do it, but you can name it something else. But I just think that it's like nice to do. Oh, this is crazy. I said I'm less than 100 people away from 3,000 on TikTok. I'm currently over 300 people, over 3,000 on TikTok right now. So once you do that, you can see like the title of it. And so you're like, oh, I was like journaling about getting to 3,000. Like, what was I saying? So that way you know. But the way that I'm going to be using it is like this. It will just be like adding the date. So I can say, let's say August. I think today's the 7th. I thought today was the 6th, but it's the 7th. August 7th, oh my gosh, and it's not 2026. I can write like I made it to 3,000. I can like do that, and I can like talk about more of like how grateful I am, how I'm like getting to the dream life that I want, and all the things. Like I just think that is really, really awesome. So if you don't use anything else weekly, monthly, yearly of this Future You project notebook, the Future You letters part is the place to use. I was telling my husband the other day that I personally don't like when I have to customize something that I buy from somebody else. However, I know that some people do, and they want it to be like them. They want it to look like them. So customize this to however you want it to be customized. So I am so excited for you. Thank you. I know this was a little bit different for the podcast, but I think that it's going to help. And if you were listening, it definitely, I guess, is like something that I would come back and watch, but it also, like, you can follow along by listening or just like thinking about your future life. I'm so excited. This is the very last episode concerning the Future You project. I am so excited for what's coming and the things that we're going to be talking about for the rest of the month, for the rest of the year. It's going to be amazing. We're going to continue to build. I am just excited, and I'm thankful for everybody who continues to watch week after week. You can get this Future You project notebook template down below. It will be linked in my description. It will be linked on my bio of every social media platform I'm on. And yeah, I'm excited. I hope that you have a wonderful, wonderful week. Let me know in the comments below if you are filling this out with me or if this is something that you think is going to be helpful for you. And we'll check back in next week. But with all of that being said, I hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful day. And until next time, remember to stay ambitious and always, always stay cozy. Bye, everybody.